Hi Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your April 1st to the 15th, 2021 reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before I begin this reading and clear the energy space, once again, a reminder not to be scammed by anybody in the comment box pretending to be me offering you a reading. This person is not me. They are a scammer. Do not be scammed. I will not be soliciting you for anything. With that said, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. All right. Let's move this over. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Capricorn, April 1st to the 15th, 2021, Capricorn. April 1st to the 15th, 2021, Capricorn. April 1st to the 15th, 2021, Capricorn. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Okay, these cards are very thick, so I always want to make sure. Yeah, just one. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Oh no, we did get two. Okay, so this one goes right there, making sure all the others. Fantastic. Tricks me. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Fantastic. Your chakra energy for this time. Capricorn, April 1st to the 15th, 2021, Capricorn. April 1st to the 15th, 2021, Capricorn. April 1st to the 15th, 2021, Capricorn. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Awesome, these two. Spirit guide message. April 1st to the 15th, 2021, Capricorn. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. And then finally, the energy we're going to have to be mindful of during this time. What is the energy that Capricorn needs to be mindful of? April 1st to the 15th, 2021, Capricorn. What is the energy that Capricorn needs to be mindful of? April 1st to the 15th, 2021, Capricorn. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Ooh, fantastic, that one. So the left-hand side is the inner self. The middle is the heart, the emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see how everything comes together. So we have the Page of Pentacles crowning the situation of the inner self. So we're coming through here, Capricorn, during this time as a student. We have the Queen of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The Queen of Swords, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and the Sun. So, oh, it's interesting. Okay, I'll get to that. I'll get to that. We'll stay focused. We have the Lovers, which is strong Gemini energy, crowning the heart. Time frame May 21st to June 20th. This is also just a strong sense of love, crowning the heart. Then we have the Five of Pentacles, which is a poverty mentality. And this is definitely a war that's going on right here. The Ace of Swords right next to the Queen of Swords. So we're definitely taking this gift that is absolutely beautiful. The Four of Cups, a gift is coming. We're not going to see it, and it's not necessarily going to feel like a gift when we get it. The Star, which is Aquarius energy, time frame January 20th to February 18th. The Moon, which is Pisces energy, which is really cool because that comes right after Aquarius, is a time frame of February 19th to March 20th. There's a real sense of facing fears, but there's also a real sense of great productivity at night, or even just through thinking and dreams. The Five of Wands, the repeat of the number 5, shows freedom. It also shows chaos coming forward and a needing to look at that chaos in a different light, but also not being held back from it, not being chained to it. And then we have the King of Pentacles, which is brilliant because we start off as a student, we end as a king. So that is absolutely brilliant. And of course, we're represented by the Pentacles in the minor arcana, by the Devil in the major arcana. So let's look at the chakra energy and spirit energy for this time. So we have truth and we have universal light. This is the throat chakra is truth. Universal light is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above our crown. During this time, the need to speak our truth, the need to say, this is how I perceive my world, my reality. It's very much the essence. And I always see this as the essence of kind of like Taoism. This and that is true. We cultivate and create our world through the way that we are able to see it, through the way that we are able to understand things. And this leads to universal light because it gives us a sense of, oh, well, then I don't have to get like angry at everybody else. I don't have to get annoyed. This is simply my reality. This is simply what I want and what I need and how I need to move forward for me. So there's a sense here of healing towards our voice, towards what we're looking at within our world, towards the way that we want to move forward. And it leads us then to peace. It leads us to really embracing the sense of peace, the sense of harmony, the sense of greater understanding, of love, of desire. And then the energy that we need to be mindful of is the Princess of Pentacles. Now, this can be, because we are represented by pentacle energy, this could be us being a little bit of a princess at times, which, I mean, we all get to be, right? But there is a sense that we could be really stubbornly looking at something and saying, but I want what I want. And that's fine, and that can be respected. But what we're going to realize is that if we start to open up our eyes, our ideas, our desires, we're going to start to see things in a very different light, in a very different way. There's also somebody here who is trying to be more self-assured with money or seem more responsible with financial matters than they actually are. And we're going to have to be very mindful of this because they'll speak to us in a way that we understand because, of course, Earth sign energy understands Earth sign energy. And we're going to see them cultivating something, embracing an idea, and we'll think, oh my gosh, that's so neat. I want to be a part of that. But there's also going to be a sense of, if I'm a part of that, if I get dragged in, they're going to want me to do things exactly the way that they want to do things. And they're not going to take in the advice that we give or the insights that we have or, look at things in any of a different light. And we'll actually wind up changing what it is that we fundamentally want to suit them. So just be very, very mindful of that. Because there's a sense here of somebody contemplating prosperity and they think, oh, if I can just do it like this, if I can just have this, then then I'll be prosperous, then I'll be happy, then everything will be okay. And it's going to get really sticky really fast. And it leads us to the Page of Pentacles, which is interesting because in the Druidcraft deck, which is the deck used here, the Page of Pentacles is the Princess of Pentacles. So we have that coming through again. Us being a student, us having to look at what we're planting, what we're desiring, how we're moving things forward, what we're seeing, how we're intertwining things. And that's going to be a very interesting thing for us to do. And there's a sense here of looking at things more in a light of grandiosity. We're going to want things to happen quickly. And what Spirit is saying is no, step back. Step back because it's going to take time. It's going to take effort. And it's like taking this whole entire period to be the king that we want to be. And it doesn't necessarily mean that we get to rule it all by being the king. What it means is that we get to have a sense of drive, of understanding, of focus, of determination, of real desire. And that's going to lead us to a place where we can really hold our own. This is a time in our inner selves, we're gathering everything up. It's kind of like we're making the notes or we're outlining things. The blueprint is being printed. And we're looking at that blueprint and we're saying, okay, what do I need? What's right here? What's wrong here? What's fundamental to me? What isn't? How do I desire things coming forward? And I love that there's all the books around because that's what we're going to be gathering. We're going to be gathering wisdom, kind of like seeds. And we're going to be planting them within us. And that's going to be so powerful. And we're going to start kind of breaking out of a way that we once saw things before. And it's like, oh, but there's more here. There's more to what I want and what I'm looking at and what I desire. And it leads us to the Queen of Wands. Now, the repeat of the Queens can mean that we come together with a female during this time, or somebody who has very feminine energy. And that energy is very much being fed, okay, into their passion, into what they desire. But this is also a time, because of course air feeds fire, where we are going to feed our thoughts into our passion. And it's going to be very important for us. We can get caught up, and that's even what the Princess of Pentacles was saying. We can get caught up in other people's desires, dreams, wants, ways of seeing things. And so here, when the Queen of Wands comes in, we start to look at ourselves, our passion, our sense of rolling up the sleeves and getting our hands dirty and saying, okay, this is what I need to do in order to get me the life that I want, in order to move me forward to the place that I want to be. That makes sense. But what is it that I want to shine so brightly within me now? Because there's going to be things that are warring. And the fact of the matter is yes, we can be juggling 18 million different things all at once. And sometimes we can do that very, very well. But we need to carve out time for what is sacredly important to us, because the Queen of Wands deals with what is intrinsically important to our passion, to our development, to our ideas, to our understanding. And that leads us then to the Queen of Swords, who's like, okay, you know with the Queen of Wands, you've kind of worked this out, you've got this passion, you've got this fire, you're not afraid to get your hands dirty, and the Queen of Swords will defend this to her dying breath. And that's what the Queen of Swords does. The Queen of Swords is no nonsense, warrior queen. I know what I want. I know where I'm going. I've trained. A sword is not an easy weapon to use at all. And it is a sign of prosperity and nobility back in medieval times. And so here, there is a great sense of what I stand for and what I push myself for and what I want and what I'm going after is passionately intrinsic to me. And because I know that this is passionately intrinsic to me, and I know what I have been kind of preparing myself for, I will fight for what I need, for where I want to be. But we can also come up against people during this time who are astoundingly passionate, but then also we deal with the other end of the coin or the spectrum where people are astoundingly logical. And it's like, okay, what are you going to be more grounded to? But I see this as drawn to during this time, but it's also going to be what grounds you, what has you looking at things more succinctly for the self, for what is desired. And the Queen of Swords is this place where sometimes, and what we're going to hear during this time is like, we're going to hear harsh truths. We're going to hear things that we don't want to hear, that we would rather people kind of kept it to themselves, or that our psyche didn't go there. And so here, with the harsh truths coming forward, and with the passion igniting, there's going to be a sense of burning away a lot of the excess, a lot of the things that we think, that's just silly. That's just silly. That's just not what I need. That's not what I want. And there's a real sense here of honing a skill, to the point of perfection. And that leads us to the sun, because it's as we're looking at what we desire, and we've planted these seeds, we've come up with these ideas, we're looking at things, and we're really connected with what we want, with where we want to be, instead of where everybody else wants us to be. The sun starts to shine. And the sun is the happiest card in the whole entire deck. It's happiness, and it's success, and it's prosperity, and it's bounty, and it's just brilliance, and it warms us. And what I love is that we have the cosmos. We have the sky here. We have the sun, we have the moon, and the stars. And so it's like, if we can move past doubt and fear, which we have here, the poverty mentality that can eat away at the heart and make us feel like we're just not good enough, we can really obtain the stars. We can obtain the sun, the moon, all that we can desire, and all that we desire starts to come towards us in one way or another. And it starts to lead us to happiness. It starts to lead us to a place where we feel successful, where we feel prosperous. The sun is also a time, especially inwardly, when we're embracing this joy and we're basking in this happiness, that people will attack. People will attack because they'll think, you don't have a right. You don't have a right to the happiness that I want. You don't have a right to the dreams that I want to live. And so this is jealousy. This is the ego coming in. This is people, being petty and cruel and mean, and it's going to be part of life. There's not going to be much that we could do to stop them, unless the option is to stop shining, to stop letting the blessings come, to stop listening to the beauty that is around us. It leads us to the lovers. Now the lovers, excuse me, I'm just going to need a sip of water. All right. Now the lovers show us duality. It also shows us choices coming in, different ways forward. There are two people here. There are two ways forward, at least two ways. And we're going to see this as a time of having to say, what do I love? Like, what do I want? And it's not that sense of, I can just live on love and hope. The ideas of love and hope, and I don't have to be practical about things. No, practicality is important. But the sense of the passion needs to be there. And the heart needs to reclaim that passion, because it's been too long. And when the Five of Pentacles comes up, it comes up for a good reason. We could have been raised in a household where there was always arguments over money, or there was never enough money, or we've experienced financial difficulty and now we're afraid. So how do we get to move forward in a life that we love, and in a love that is life, if we have the fear of poverty around us all the time? Because then you become like a starved dog. You just do. It's like all of a sudden everything becomes terrifying, everything becomes aggravating, everything becomes overwhelming, and you're so ready to show your teeth. It's kind of like whenever you feel like you're being threatened, that's always what I see, that sense that feral viciousness starts to come out. And this is saying here, enough is enough. It is time to look at the poverty mentality and say, you don't have a place within my heart. You shaped me, you forged me, you had me learn lessons that I'd rather not have learned. And I get that. And I respect that. But I have to move forward for me. Because we have 6 here. We count down to 5. It's taking a step back. And it's like our hearts see us moving towards what we love, moving towards what we desire, moving towards what we want in celebration, in jubilee. And then there's just that fear that comes in that says, well, when are you going to mess it up? When is it all going to fall apart? Do you really think you're so grandiose or so wonderful as to, go after this? Or there's the fear of, what if I'm being completely like self-centered and egotistical to think that I get to have this, or I get to have happiness when so many people are suffering? The essence here is to walk where love walks, to embrace what love embraces. And what this means is not to say, I'm going to be exactly what everybody else wants me to be, or I'm going to rage just for the fun of raging or just to go against what other people want me to do. This is saying there is a power to what I want within my life, and there is a purpose. And there is a little demon on my shoulder. There's that devil mentality, which, because we're born under Capricorn, it has a powerful effect on us. And I always thought it was so unfair for Capricorn to have the devil as the card that defines Capricorn. But there's that sense of what is the opposite of the devil. So what is the opposite of anger and envy and all the things that the devil represents? Well, it's love. And so here we have the poverty mentality coming, and it's saying, I am transcending the chains that have held me back, and I'm embracing love. Because when the devil embraces love, if you look at the Christian ideology, Lucifer was the most powerful angel within heaven. So if you embrace love, you rise to be the most powerful being that can possibly be. And it leads us then to this Ace of Swords, to this arming of the warrior queen, who is more than willing to lay down her existence for what she knows is right and powerful. Now, that doesn't mean that we need to do that. What it means is that we are embracing this warrior within us that says, this is my truth, this is what I desire, this is what I'm working towards, this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm understanding, and the seeds that I plant get to grow because I get to defend my garden. I get to defend my right of nourishment and prosperity and greater understanding and greater insights. The Ace of Swords cuts through so much nonsense and fear. The Ace of Swords is a clarity that comes in, and it can come in for a blink of the eye, but because it was there, because we felt it, because now we know what clarity feels like, we go after it so much more openly, so much more honestly, so much more instinctually than we ever even could have imagined doing it before, when we didn't know what that clarity was, when we didn't know what that idea was. And so here, there is also a gift of embracing the voice, the throat chakra, the filling of the lungs, the powering of the mind. And it leads us to the Four of Cups. Dreams come forward. There is something that we have desperately wanted that is coming to us in a way that does not make it look like a gift at all. It just doesn't. We're looking at what we have. We might be kind of a bit frustrated with where we are in life and thinking, oh my gosh, when are things going to change? When are things going to move forward in any sort of good, positive direction? And then we get this gift coming in, and it sideswipes us because, again, it doesn't feel like a gift. And what we're seeing here and what we're gaining an understanding in is, okay, what do I love? What's important to me? What do I desire? How's that poverty mentality trying to cut me down? How am I being shackled to fears and doubts? And here is the sword to cut that. And then the gift comes, but it doesn't feel like a gift because I'm so used to seeing things in either black or white. White page, black print, it all has to be so clear. And this is myriad shades of gray. This is moving three-dimensionally forward. And it's like, oh, I understand. And there's a sense of understanding as we're shouldering our burdens. Because there's going to be this voice, if we listen, there's going to be this kind of instinctual understanding that we're moving towards something more than we had imagined. And it brings us to the stars. So at the root of the heart is a gift that comes in that it's going to be very, very difficult to understand and to take and to claim. So just be mindful of this, because we can easily let this slip by. We can easily let this fall through our fingers and just walk away from it. And it would be a shame for us if we did. Now, the star comes in, and the star is the highest form of man's perfection. And that's why when we get the sun, which is our closest star, we have the happiness, the brilliance, and the joy coming in, because, it's the highest form of man's perfection coming forward. The star is brilliance. The star is greater understanding. The star is what we wish for, what we long for. It's the emotional waters, and it's the earthly plane. And it's trying to find that balance and trying to see where we stand and how we stand within ourselves. Now, if you're born on the cusp with Aquarius, the Aquarius side of your personality is going to be coming across very, very powerfully during this time. There is a sense of looking at what you're wishing for. Now, it's not the fingers crossed wish. It's the deep soul's wish. It's the sense of, but this is what I long for. this is where I need to be. This is what I desire. And it moves us to the moon. Now, the moon is fear. The moon comes in, and that's going to be what holds us back creatively. Yes, that's it. Because as much as we're not afraid to roll up our sleeves, get our hands dirty, that kind of physical activity is going to feel rather safe. But to be able to look at our fire, our passion, our dreams, and then to know that we have failed before. Okay? It could be in a very small way that people would laugh at and be like, oh, you're letting that stop you? That's no big deal. But it was a big deal to the self. A lot of times, people stop after one failure. And the thing with life is that you are just bound to fail at something at one point or another. Failure is going to be a part. And either we become intimately, acquainted with failure and what it does to us and how it rips us down, or we try to push it away. And then we live lives that don't embrace our potential, that don't embrace our passion. During this time, there is a sense of fear over creativity, over expression, over openness, over, desire. And there's this sense of, well, how can I put the time in? For some, it's going to be wanting to create something, wanting to write something, wanting to, create art in one way or another, or having an idea for something that could be patented, okay? And it's going to be looking at it and saying, well, why would I put the time in? The money isn't going to be there. I need to chase the money. Spirit is saying, yes, make sure that you're safe. The only people who say money doesn't matter are the people who have so much of it, it doesn't matter anymore. So here, there is this sense of, no, I need to look at what I desire, what I want, what I need, where I'm headed in my life. And then the fear comes up, and that's in the public arena. So we're heading towards what our soul deeply longs for. And then we can just put the brakes on the whole entire thing and say, this is too much. It's too much. It's scary. It's overwhelming. I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I can do this. This isn't really where I want to be or how I want to be. The moon comes in and we become terrified. And the thing with the moon is it reflects the light of the sun. So it should be bringing kind of a more kind of chilled down, like calming way of moving forward in our passion and in our happiness. But what it brings us is fear and doubt and thinking, oh, I can't do that. I just can't do that. And the fact of the matter is that we can. Once we conquer the fears, once we look at the subconscious and conscious self and, the way that we can stand tall and proud within our bodies, within our being. Because in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, okay, there's a wolf and a dog. So one is tamed and one is wild. That's the conscious part of ourselves, is the tame part. And the subconscious is the wild part. And then there is a lobster. Now, a lobster, the bigger the lobster is, the more serotonin it produces. So there's a confidence to that lobster to be big, to be out of the water, to be kind of looking around. And that's what we're being called to be. We're called to be brave, to stand up tall, our shoulders back, our head held high, knowing that we're worth something, and knowing that there is nobody else in the world quite like us. It then leads us to looking at the subconscious part of ourselves, the part that is capable of great evil, of great chaos, of great hurt, and great pain. And not saying, oh, well, that part of me doesn't exist, I'm just wonderful. It's saying, I see you. I see the monster that lurks within me, within every single human being. I see you. But I am not ruled by you. You are ruled by me. I own you. And that's when the monsters start to work for us. That's when the chaos and the hurt and the pain starts to make this really big shift. And we see ourselves standing forward in what we desire from our lives and looking at the fear and saying, well, if I could conquer that, how far can I go? How much can I achieve? And it brings us to the Five of Wands, because the Five of Wands is externally, we have people who are going to conflict with us. Now, it's either that they're going to conflict with us because they're going to be after their own agenda, and our agenda and their agenda isn't going to mesh up. That's fine. That's one way. It can be an argument that starts off really small and you find out that things just explode. It can also be inner conflict where things are overwhelming and we don't know exactly how to express it because it just kind of came on all at once and everything was really super great before that, and now it's all chaotic and questioning. So the Five of Wands comes in and we're looking at that chaos internally, externally, and it's kind of like, no, I don't get to be that chaos. I don't get to have that chaos. I don't want that chaos. I get to move forward in my truth. And the chaos that comes, it's the challenge that comes. It's when we face our fears and when we push ourselves to continuously face our fears, to be able to move forward in life and in purpose, the way that our souls desire. And that becomes a tremendous strength. That's where the battles start to lead to knowledge and greater understanding. And then it brings us to the King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles is prosperity and success and bounty and wealth coming in and seeing things interconnectedly, but also embracing the power of what we desire and where we stand and how we present ourselves. And people start to look at us as people who can instead of people who can't. But what's more important is that we start to look at ourselves as people who can achieve the unexpected and the brilliant, people who can, conquer the boundaries and push the boundaries and achieve their goals, people who can plant the seeds and the intentions and watch them grow as they nourish themselves. And that becomes powerful because we become pillars of success and we become rooted in success. Now let's see what the spirit animal message is here. Capricorn. April 1st to the 15th, 2021, Capricorn. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. So we have the spider spirit. Make your dream real. And that's what this time is all about. It's making the dream a reality. And we might say, okay, well, how long can we focus on our dreams? As long as it takes for us to achieve them. Or until we give up on them. Either way. Until we embrace them or we walk away from them. Our dreams aren't always going to be pleasant to everyone. Spiders are magnificent and a huge part of the ecological, system. But ecological, there we go. But people are terrified of them, and they're not exactly the prettiest looking things. The spider spirit is saying, make your dreams a reality. No matter what people think, no matter how people perceive you, no matter how they interpret what you have created, bring those dreams forward. It leads us to our subconscious spirit animal message, which is the mouse spirit, which is one of my absolute favorite cards. It says, tend to the small things. If not, my favorite card. Tend to the small things. We forget the small things. We look at the big things. We look at the grandiosity, and we say, that is where I should be denoting my time and my effort. But if we tended to the small things, if we looked at the details of it, not getting caught up in the details and saying, I can't move unless every, thing is lined up absolutely perfectly. No, it's like making things beautiful and starting to embrace the fact that we're allowed beauty within our lives. Tending to the small things is tending to relationships and things that we care about with small gestures of kindness and love and respect. And it's also tending to the small things that we need. It's kind of like when somebody's having a tea and they ask, oh, can I make you a tea? It's just nice. It makes you feel wanted and welcome and loved and cherished. Those small things, they make up the world. The big grandiosity, yeah, they're great. And they get a lot of attention. But they're not what the world is sustained on. So here, during this time, tend to the small things. You'll find that they matter more than you know. The subconscious person message is the King of Pentacles. We are embracing our throne, our desire, what we want, what we wish for, where we want to be. The King of Pentacles comes in and it is bountiful. And we can be bountiful during this time. We can also be very stubborn and inflexible. Like we see that that's the road I want to walk. That's it. The road can be under construction. It can be flooded. There could be, raging fires through it. And we'll think, no, still going to walk that road. That's my plan. So there needs to be a flexibility here. We can get a little bit too rigid with, no, that's the way I need to go. It's like, no. Look at things a little bit differently. The subconscious chakra message is Mother Earth, which is the Earth Star chakra located 6 inches below the feet. And this is a sense of connecting with our Earth, with what we desire, but with the heartbeat of our world. And letting the Earth speak to us. The subconscious, not that yet, spirit message is divinity. It's opening ourselves up to the divine and saying, there's beauty here, there's purpose here, and there's beauty and purpose here for me. The divine guides. The divine always guides. I find that for me personally, if I take out the spirituality of life, if I take out the divine aspect of life and humanity, it all becomes so nihilistic that it's hard to even bear. And it's putting that divinity back into our world. And it's saying it's a sacred place. And it's a sacred way forward. It doesn't mean that we have to embrace one dogma or the other. It means that just to embrace the sacred and to know that the sacred, the divine, walks in us and walks with us, that becomes beautifully powerful. It leads us to the subconscious tarot message, which is the Knight of Cups. Defending our hearts, defending what we desire, also submerging ourselves in what we love, finding beautiful things and saying, I get to be a part of that beauty, or that beauty gets to be a part of my world. And we fight for our hearts. Subconsciously, that's what we're doing during this time. We're fighting for our hearts. We're fighting for what we love. All right, Capricorn. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our passionate, powerful, positive energy as we make our dreams a reality. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Capricorn.